What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night Q&A Hangout. I am late today. I know. There was a lot going on with training camp today. To be honest with you, all the assistant coaches spoke, and so I was trying to dig through all that, make sure that the video for today was as good as it possibly could be. I'm happy with it, but it took quite a while. Then we dropped a long form on my second channel, Cole Breaks the Huddle, and a YouTube short on HBTC as well, recapping a lot of today's practice. There's only one practice left tomorrow, the last practice for the Chiefs training camp getting ready for the 2025 NFL season, which means the NFL season is inching closer and closer. They have a preseason game this Friday night. I was going to say tonight. It's not tonight. This Friday night against the Seattle Seahawks late, 9 p.m. Central, very late game, but very excited about it. We'll be streaming that, of course. I was so taken aback, at a loss for words, by all the support that a lot of you showed in last stream for the first preseason game. I couldn't believe it. The fact that I get to do this for a living and have the support that I do and have you guys hanging out with me during these games, it means the world to me, and it was a lot of fun. Yes, it was a preseason game, but there was tons of flags, penalties. What the hell was this call? What is going on here? This player making a good play, this player making a not so good play. It was a lot of fun. I felt like for a preseason game, and getting to do what I do with you guys hanging out and interacting, mods holding it down, all of that, it just made the whole experience even better. So appreciate you guys. It was a lot of fun. Jets might trade Breece Hall. Maybe. I think he's on the last year of his contract and wants something done. So he has been floated around in trade talks for sure. But what did you guys think about last preseason game? What are you thinking for this upcoming preseason game against the Seahawks? Who are you looking to see, watch, all of it? Let me know who's rising in your eyes, who's falling. How have you felt like the training camp practices have gone this week as well? I'm just here to hang out with you guys and talk some Chiefs, football, NFL, all of it. Love your Chiefs, but $4 for half a bottle of water at training camp was harsh. Half a bottle of water? Yeah, inflation's real. It's insane. Did you go last year? They were free. Did you go today? Zappy should not play. Well, Zappy's going to play, but I do think I would like to see some more reps out of Chris Oladokun. I think he looked like the better quarterback between he and Zappy. So stock up for Chris O in my eyes. I would love to see some more reps. Don't know if he will get more reps over Zappy. They will play a lot in game 3 for sure. That's just kind of how it goes. The starters don't even really play game 3, but you will see more of the starters in this one. Mahomes, Kelsey, kind of all of them. They'll play a couple of series. Oh, that's funny. Jeremy, you just asked, do you think Mahomes will play more than a drive? They typically play two drives this week, which is more exciting for sure than last week, which was 3 plays. Well, maybe 4 plays technically with the starters. One was a penalty. It was, let me think. It was a Pacheco run, a Thornton penalty, and a Brownlee touchdown. It might have just been 3 plays. I think it should be 2 drives. That's what it was last year and normally is years prior. Are we selling on Felix yet? By selling, do you mean giving up on him? He's just buried in the depth chart. 3rd year as a former first-round pick. It's rough for him right now. I do think if the defensive end room took a hit, though, he would be one of the next guys up in the rotation. His contract is fully guaranteed, guys, so I don't see a reason, because he's a first-round pick. All first-round draft picks have fully guaranteed contracts. I don't see a massive reason to just cut ties with him unless he is that far down, not only on the depth chart, but on a talent level perspective, even though he's super young. If they feel like, hey, after 2 years, we've seen enough, he's done, we can't get a trade partner, we're just going to cut ties and move on. It's an option, but it's a fully guaranteed contract. You've already signed it. You owe him that money regardless. So in an ideal world, he stays this year and you see what you have in him in his 3rd year, or you find a trade partner. I would be curious to know what you guys think. It takes 2 to tango. We could say, yeah, trade FAU, get him the out of town, whatever you want to say about him. But another team's going to have to want the guy. and trade for him. I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. Why did we sign another running back? That's a great question, Chiefs fan. I talked about it in tonight's video. I think the reason why the Chiefs added a running back into the room, I'm trying to remember who his name was. I don't want to misspeak. Something Wiley. But it's not Jared Wiley and it's not Andrew Wiley. So who is it? They added him today, and I think the reason why, as I find his name, maybe somebody in chat already knows, I think it's really just to give Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, like, you know what you have in those guys already, so I don't know that they need to really do much more. Yeah, they might get in some work with the first team offense in these first 2 drives. It's Michael Wiley. He's a dual threat back, super quick, 10-yard split. Caught an average in his last 3 years in college, an average of 300 receiving yards for 4 touchdowns. So dual threat guy, can catch passes out of the backfield. I don't think he's going to make a push for the roster, but I do think it's going to give the guys that you know what you have, Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco for sure, the ability to rest and then not put too much of a workload on the rest of your running backs in these last 2 games. If you already know, if you've seen enough of them, you know that they're going to make the roster or whatever, why give them more of a workload than they really need? So maybe that Steele doesn't see a huge workload. If Andy Reid's like, hey, we're rolling with a fullback, I don't care what we have to do on offense, I want my fullback. Andy Reid always has 51% of the votes. So I think that would then leave Elijah Mitchell, Brashard Smith in the last game. Maybe you want that third guy just to have a bit more depth. And remember, Brashard Smith, I didn't even say this in tonight's video, so that's shame on me, but Brashard Smith fractured or dislocated rather his finger. So Brashard Smith isn't even 100%. So it might be one of those like, hey, we want to take some of the workload off of him. That finger is really bothering him. Let's get him healed up and healthy and ready for the season. And that's what I think, and that's why I think you added Michael Wiley. If you guys think other thoughts, let me know. But I think those are the primary reasons, is just to give those guys a little bit more rest, maybe in the last preseason game, and then maybe it's to let Brashard Smith heal up a little bit. It can be more competition for a potential practice squad candidate as well, because you do have Elijah Young, who could be your practice squad guy, but maybe now it's Michael Wiley. Which roster bubble player has the greatest trade value? Probably FAU, if you think he's on the bubble. Former first-round pick, he's still on his rookie contract. People could see him and be like, well, the way that the Chiefs are using him, we think we could use him in our scheme. We think he would fit there better. Or they got a couple hits in the defensive end room due to injuries, and they're just like, look, we need the body. He probably has the most value from a roster bubble standpoint if you think FAU is on the bubble. Outside of that, you're not going to have a lot of value for several of these roster bubble guys. They might get a 6th or a 7th round pick. That's anybody from Sky Moore, Josh Williams. We've already talked about FAU. I'm not really sure who else you're going to have trade value for. And Sky, his only prayer, if it's a trade, is that another team kind of with FAU sees, oh, Sky's a former 2nd round pick. We like his skill sets. We liked what we saw in his draft process, and we don't think the Chiefs are using him in his best way to best leverage those skill sets. So I don't think you're getting a lot of trade value out of a lot of these guys. FAU would be the most. Never realized you weren't local. Who's not local? Knight? So the rumor that Brashard Smith was cut is false, right? So I did talk about in my video tonight was that some people said, hey, Brashard Smith could be a candidate that's not going to make the roster. The reasoning for that is he's a 7th round pick, only has $131,000 guaranteed in his contract. It's like a $4 million contract. Only $130,000 is guaranteed. So you can move on from him with very little financial repercussions. The other arguments beyond that is it's more than just money. It's, well, he's not progressing as much as you would have thought so far in camp. And if he doesn't stand out as a returner on kicks or punts, you can move on from him and try again next time. because Elijah Mitchell or Carson Steele plus Pacheco and Kareem Hunt are the guys that they like. I don't know that that's actually going to happen. I need to see these remaining 2 preseason games. And the other thing about Rashard Smith to me is you drafted a running back that has 1 year of experience at the position, converted receiver, super young, 22 years old, and a lot of upside. He's very athletic. He's also the only guy on this roster under contract outside of Carson Steele, if you want to count him. I look at him as like a fullback. But outside of Rashard Smith, nobody else is under contract after this season. Pacheco, last year of his deal. Kareem Hunt, 1 year deal. Elijah Mitchell, 1 year deal. So there are just some chatter of, hey, I don't even know if Rashard Smith is a roster lock. I think he is. I kind of explained my thoughts as to why I think he is in tonight's video. But yeah, you can move on from him. I just don't know why. Like, why would you draft a running back that you think is going to take time to develop, knowing he's only played running back for 1 year, and then not give him any time to develop? That seems a little insane to me. What are your thoughts on Noel Williams? What's up, Kevin? I think Noel is doing a good job. There's 2 sides of this. We saw him play in the preseason game, physical, standout plays on special teams, for sure making the roster, for sure going to be a core special teamer. Dave Merritt has said more than once, that's the defensive backs coach for the Chiefs. He spoke today as well. He said today and then a couple weeks ago that Noel Williams is still swimming, kind of drowning, learning the playbook and getting brought up to speed, and he's only playing one position. He's only playing outside. He's not kicking into the slot. He's not moving and rotating into any safety positions, nothing like that. And he kind of said, hey, we need those guys, those corners that are only playing one spot. They have to know it through and through, every single aspect of the playbook, the tells, what to do based on leverage, all of it. And he kind of said that Noel Williams is still learning and getting acclimated. So I am very excited for Noel. I think it's going to take a little bit more time. I do think, though, as time goes on, Fulton gets healthy, maybe week 4, week 5, week 6, as Noel Williams just gets more time into the playbook, a couple more months from now. I think Noel Williams could be one of your go-to guys right after Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, and Christian Fulton. I think Noel Williams could be CB4. Nazee's maybe CB5. Core special teamer, rotates in as needed on defense. I know he's getting absolutely roasted by everybody, it seems like, on social media, but he's like your CB5 and your core special teamer, and you're getting him reps right now during preseason and trying to sharpen him. Dave Merritt spoke about him today and said he's got the long speed, he's got the athletic ability, kind of was baptized trial by fire last year as a corner, played safety in college, mainly a special teamer, rookie year, then tore his ACL, and then they kind of threw him into the fire last year, and he's still trying to get him better. That's where I kind of see the cornerback room right now. It's a couple interesting developments. Also, Christian Roland Wallace has been playing more safety. He can also play in the slot that's kicking into the inside. Jamari Connor's been playing a little bit more at safety. In a perfect world, you've got either Jalen Watson and Christian Fulton, or Noel. Nazee kicks in sometimes when needed. So Trent McDuffie can play in the slot, and Shamari Connor doesn't have to do that as much. That was a long answer to how am I feeling about Noel Williams. I know. Brand with the 5 gifted. Let's go, dude. Thank you, man. Brand, the man in the house. KL. With the 20 bomb said, I'm really worried about the cornerback depth. Okay, this is kind of goes right into what I was talking about. Let me see what you say. Nazee's been in and out of the first team with Watson, and we've only seen negatives, but the coaching staff says different. I am getting a lot of Neiman and Sorensen vibes. I think you get the negatives definitely get highlighted, and he has had some losses at camp. You can't ignore what you see on film, on camera from the clips that get posted. But there are also wins that don't get highlighted and make the rounds at all. Nazee had a PBU on Jalen Royals down the left sideline today. Nobody acknowledged that at all. He had 4 PBUs last week on camera, 1 on Kelsey, 2 on Tyquan Thornton. It's not all L's, but they want you to on Twitter, they want you to seem like it's only L's. You don't look at the wins. You ignore the wins. He also forced a fumble on the second kickoff in the Cardinals game, but Cardinals recovered. So it wasn't like a big, like, oh, wow, look what Najee did because they recovered. So, yeah. What is the question? You feel like Nazee's been in and out. You're worried about the cornerback depth. Well, here's the thing. Najee is being the guy rotated in right now, but Jalen Watson's in concussion protocol and Christian Fulton is still ramping up. As I said a little bit ago, I think within the first few weeks of the season, it's McDuffie, it's Jalen Watson, it's Christian Fulton, and then probably Noel Williams as your 4 primary guys. But yeah, you are seeing Najee rotate in right now with the ones rather than Noel Williams. I just don't think he's ready yet. They feel more comfortable getting Najee reps. People even say, hey, what about Joshua Williams? Throw him out there. Dude, I don't know. I do not know. It's been 2 years now. Joshua Williams seems like he's kind of in the doghouse. I don't know why. They see something. The coaching staff sees something. We see, as fans, 10 clips from training camp. That's it. The coaches are monitoring every single snap at practice, whether the media or fans post it or not. They're watching every single snap on film. And they're looking at it a lot more thoroughly than we are. Yes, there are people that want Najee on Mars. Like, it happens. There's a couple players every single year. Sky Moore is one of those guys. Sky Moore, though, what did he do? 0 yards. The only receiver targeted got 0 yards. So, yeah, it's an up and down thing right now, but I do think that the cornerback depth, once Fulton gets up to speed and Jalen Watson comes back off of concussion protocol, it'll be fine. Yeah, Joshua Williams, Kurop said he might be, I probably butchered your name, sorry, but he said Joshua Williams might be trade bait. Yeah, if you've got a cornerback needy team that wants a corner and trades a 6th or a 7th round conditional pick for Joshua Williams, bravo for the Chiefs being able to get a draft pick out of him if he wasn't going to make the roster anyway. Cole, will you be traveling to Brazil to watch the game? I wish, Tiago. What's up, man? I wish. That would be a fun game. You think we need a veteran in the safety room? Well, and here's something I'll add about the cornerback room, about the safety room. I'm just looking at it as it is right now. If they want to add a veteran, if they want to do something like make a trade or claim somebody off of waivers or do something else, if the coaching staff feels like they need more depth at the position, I'm totally fine with it. I'm just looking at the roster based on how it is right now and who's on it. If they want to add a vet, they can do it. Safety vet, I don't know. You have Brian Cook. You have Chamari Connor. You have Jaden Hicks. You have Mike Edwards. And then Chris Roland Wallace has also been working in at safety. I don't know who you're going to go get if you want to add a safety, a veteran safety. Justin Simmons would be great. He's going to be millions and millions of dollars probably. If one of those guys got hurt, one of the top guys that I just mentioned, yeah, go get Justin Simmons yesterday. I want to see a little bit more of these preseason games before I just totally write off Mike Edwards. He over-pursued on this play, missed a tackle here, and struggled in coverage on this play, but he had a PBU here, 2 downhill tackles here, a PBU in the end zone. I want to see more preseason games first before hitting the panic button on going and getting somebody right now. That's just me. If you guys disagree, let me know, and I'd love to know your thoughts as to why. I just have my thoughts and opinions as a fan, just like you guys. And that's why we do the Q&A, so we can hang out and process it and talk about it together. James, a resident Broncos fan in the house with the 5-bomb. What's up, Cole Diggity? What's your biggest surprise and disappointment with KC after game 1? I think biggest surprise. Biggest surprise? Might be we saw not as much as I was expecting. Well, hold on. You said biggest surprise and disappointment. Let's go. Brownlee's catch was a great surprise. Josh Simmons looked fantastic at left tackle, and Kingsley looked very serviceable at left guard. It was only 10 snaps. Not going to overreact. Kingsley had a loss. Yes. Everybody looked at that one loss, didn't look at the 9 wins or a couple of those being neutrals. Kingsley looked good. Josh Simmons looked good. And then it was really hard to make anything else out of the starting offense for the most part. On defense, I mean, Jack Cochran made some plays, forced fumble. Christian Roland Wallace was a big standout. He recovered a fumble on special teams and had an INT. Jaden Hicks had an INT. Disappointment, quote unquote. I just was hoping to see more from Omar Norman Lott. I think his ankle's not yet 100% that he tweaked early on in camp, and then he put on some weight, 10, 15 pounds, not as quick off the line. I do want to see some more, oh, there he is, plays, considering he was your second-round pick. He had a crazy pass rush win rate in college. Led, I think, all interior D linemen in the FBS. Yes, he played on a rotational basis. I get all that. But I was hoping to see a little bit more from Omar Norman Lott, especially when he was playing against second or third string guys. That's when, if you're a starter in the NFL or should be a starter, you should stand out against backups. Now, one game from Omar Norman Lott. I'm not going to write him off. I'm not going to freak out. It might even take half the season. It could take a little while. Think of Rice, Worthy. They took a while to get up to speed. You guys remember Rice? Oh, he's a bust. They're writing him off. Oh, he dropped a pass in preseason. Do you remember that pass Rashee Rice dropped? It was kind of bad. The rainbow pass where Rice was wide open. He probably catches that and houses it, but he dropped it. You can't overreact to preseason games. Slamming with the 2. It's my birthday today. My only concern is safety. I would love to know in the chat, anybody with a concern of safety, what's the concern exactly? Where's the concern? Is it because of the mic? What was that? I have my in-ears on, and I thought I heard a bang up above my head. Yeah, what's your concern at safety exactly? I would be curious to know. Chamari Connor needs to be our flex free safety and strong safety. Have him rotate behind Cook, Hicks, and Edwards. I think Hicks should be starting because he'll eventually develop in the system. Yeah, I think Hicks should be getting more work in. We are deep at safety. Cornerback is a worry. Not the greatest when you look around the league. Drew, what position group? Are you talking about the safety room? There's a lot of position groups on the Chiefs that may not be the greatest, but I do think they have depth. A couple of the assistant GMs spoke today to the media. They felt really deep O-line, D-line, and he mentioned a third group, linebacker. Nobody's really complaining about any of those three groups. I think some people are saying, hey, we're kind of scary thin at DT if Omar Norman Lott doesn't make the steps up that we want him to his rookie year quickly. If somebody like Mike Pennell or something gets banged up, you're thin a little bit there. But Jerry Tillery, we'll see how he does. Yeah, we will see. There's a couple position groups. It's like, well, I just don't want to overreact until we see more preseason games, really. I don't know why Josh Williams is in the doghouse, said KL with the 10 bomb. Thank you, man, on the 20 bomb and the 10 bomb. But what gives you the confidence that we won't see Nazi on the field a lot this year? A la Neiman. Noel still isn't getting second team reps, which is crazy. Well, we might see Nazi a little bit, but I do think Noel Williams has the ability here. I kind of said like week 4, week 6. He had a good preseason game. So just keep stacking days and building upon that. You might see Nazi on the field. I'm not saying we won't see Nazi at all on defense. I'm just saying I think once Fulton gets fully acclimated coming off the knee and he's looking better, he's practicing in teams, he's getting ramped up, Jalen Watson's back from concussion protocol, Noel Williams eventually ascends here by week 4, week 6 into a rotational role. I think he can do it. You're seeing a lot of Nazi right now because Noel's not ready. Jalen Watson's in concussion protocol and Christian Fulton's not ready. I do think you'll see less, but here's my thing about that. If the coaching staff said, hey, we're keeping Nazi, we think that's our best option, don't we want him to get reps? How else are you going to get better? Throw the guy in there. Give him a piss ton of reps at practice. Let him go against Rice all the time. Let him go get him preseason reps. Again, if they want to go with somebody else or go a different direction, that's fine, but it's just seeming like the coaching staff says, hey, this is kind of our next best option after guys like Fulton, McDuffie, Watson. So we want to give him a bunch of reps right now. Yeah, I don't know about Joshua Williams. He's not getting any. You say Noel's not getting any second team reps. He might be sprinkling in a little bit, but Joshua Williams rarely is either, which is kind of crazy as well. See, Bruce, yeah, thanks for the 2. I kind of talked about that already twice now. But hey, I think he is getting piled on. But again, if the coaching staff want to make some changes, that's totally fine. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm beating a dead horse at this point because I've talked about the cornerback room like the entire time. But are you watching New Heights tomorrow? That's a good segue because, dude, T Swift on New Heights, sign me up. I'm watching tomorrow. You can love or hate that T Swift. I think she's awesome. Don't care. People hate her because of political leanings. I don't care, dude. I don't care if what you vote. I don't care. Are you a decent human being? And do you treat people with dignity and respect? I'm a third-party guy. Live and let live within the parameters of the law. That's me. I don't care what you lean, dude. I really don't. I'm not obsessed. I don't worship politicians. Don't do it. I'll move on from that subject. We don't really talk about it on here, but that's why she gets hate sometimes. I don't care. She's great at her craft. She seems like a genuine person. Fun. I'm going to watch the podcast tomorrow, personally. I'm going to watch it. 1587, Jennifer, let's go. I want to hear some of her football thoughts. She doesn't really do podcasts that I know of. I'm not a huge Swiftie in the sense of know the history, the lore, and all that, but she loves the Chiefs. Her and Kelsey got their thing going. Happy for them. I want to hear some football thoughts tomorrow, so I'm excited about it. Jennifer, thanks again for the 1587. Let's go. Yeah, Odin said, I became a Swiftie through Travis and I'm 66. Just not my music? Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of her music. I don't. If I listen to any music at all, it's hip-hop, and I rarely listen to that anymore. I just listen to podcasts. But I think she's talented, one of the most popular artists in the entire world. I would say megastar. And she seems really down to earth. Every video you see of her at Arrowhead, taking time to greet the fans, say hi, take pictures, shake hands, all of it. So it doesn't bother me at all. Dave Merritt basically said Noel is not that sharp, only has one position and should know what you're doing, implied he didn't. I think he was speaking a little bit more generic, but I did talk about Noel Williams earlier when he said he's still swimming and he's still trying to get acclimated. I don't think he was saying he's an idiot. I think he's just it's just taking time. Some people take time to acclimate in the NFL. You're not even seeing some of these draft picks that are supposed to be hits. You're not seeing them really catch on until halfway through the season, year 2, year 3. So I'm not going to overreact or write somebody off based on one preseason game. That's for sure. Irish said, I'm old. Everybody I listen to is dead. Man, some of them keep passing away. Like Ozzy just passed. I feel like there was another guy that just passed. It's pretty insane. Nazi played safety in college. Honey Badger 2.0. Yeah, I don't really know. A lot of people said, hey, move him back to safety. Because that's what he played in college. As soon as he got drafted, they moved him to corner. I don't know why. We'd have to ask Merritt. One of the beat reporters would just need to say, hey, why did they do that? Why did you do that? What did you see? Could you move him back to safety? Great question. Above my pay grade. So we won't see Royals more involved in the offense until halfway through the season like Rice and Worthy. Well, maybe. Royals could see a little bit more time early if Rice is suspended and they like Royals in certain roles and certain plays and packages in the Rice role. The thing is, it just takes time. If you want to know all 3 wide receiver positions and know how to react against certain leverage or certain coverages shown post-snap, you have to telepathically know what Mahomes wants based on coverage shown. It's just a lot. There's always that you're hitting a rookie wall sometimes. It's hard. But I do think Jalen Royals could see some playing time. But even when Rice is suspended, you're still going to have Worthy, Hollywood, as long as he's healthy. I know a lot of people are kind of frustrated with him with the ankle. And I saw some people saying, what does this guy do in the offseason? Does he not work out and get stronger? He's worked with Bobby Stroop the last 2 years, guys. He's working. But yeah, he tweaked something in his ankle and his foot. I've I haven't really talked about this on channel because it doesn't matter, but I have something going on with my foot. It's like the ball of my foot. I've had pain in the ball of my foot for like a year and a half now, and I need to go to the foot doctor and just see what the heck is going on because I can't get it right. But dude, foot injuries are very frustrating, annoying, stressful, and then if you're a wide receiver or anybody that you need your foot to turn, to pivot, and do all that, he's trying to get right. So all that to say, yeah, you'll have Worthy, you'll have Hollywood, you have Juju. Yes, you have Royals. You've got Thornton, Remigio's in the mix, and then when Rice comes back, he'll take over. I mean, for sure. Flip with the 5. What's up, Cole and HBTC fam? So with our wide receiver 1 and 2, do you have a favorite highlight or outstanding play by Rice and Worthy? Just in general, Worthy had a couple deep balls last year that was pretty fun. Rice, he had that ball down the left sideline in the Bengals game, which was nice, but there's a bunch of plays that you could probably go back and look at and be like, oh yeah, I like that. Probably like that. Can't do it. All my music is 55 through 64. Oh, nice. How soon will tomorrow's pod be the most watched video on YouTube? Great question. Talking about T Swift on New Heights. I don't know, but it is going to, if it's not going to break a record, it's going to be very close. I think it probably becomes the most watched podcast on YouTube. Very likely so. Note to all regarding New Heights tomorrow. Premieres at 7. Yeah, it's in the evening, PM. Yep. Who will be wide receiver 3? I think your trio is probably Rice, Worthy, Hollywood. During Rice's suspension, shift everybody up. Worthy, Hollywood, Juju. Sometimes Worthy, Hollywood, Royals. Thornton will get some looks. I think he makes the roster. Could be one of your deep ball guys. You'll be at training camp tomorrow. Let's go, Richie. The foot problem's probably from climbing up the top of the Chiefs podcast mountain. Oh, God bless. Pepe, what's up, dude? Worthy seems to be making a huge leap this season, and he's already had a good rookie year. Hey, he's been working on his route running, his route tree, looks sharper, more than just a downfield, I'm fast, 4.2, 140 guy. For sure. I'm excited for Worthy. I really am. Forgot about Hollywood. No, I said Hollywood. I said once he comes back from injury, he's going to be one of the top 3. I said Rice, Worthy, Hollywood. And then when Rice gets suspended, Worthy, Hollywood, and then whoever's third. Royals, maybe Juju. Juju, maybe Royals. Depends. Nobody talking about Travis and GQ. I did see he made the cover of GQ magazine. I don't really know much about it. I do want to read the article. I haven't read it yet, though, so I can't really speak on it. I saw him with some wild... He was holding a crocodile. It was probably Carson Steele's croc. He was holding a snake, a big old snake. He was in the water jet ski thing, water hovercraft. I haven't read the article though, so I can't say, yeah, I read it and here are my takeaways. I do want to read it. I'll probably read it tonight. Thoughts on Jeffrey Bossa? That's a guy we haven't talked about today, but I love what I saw from him game 1. One of my definite standouts from the 5th round linebacker. Made a couple plays on special teams and then a couple plays on defense that were just whoa. Yeah, I'm excited about him for sure. He's a converted safety, turned linebacker like Tranquil. Wore the green dot last year in college as the Mike linebacker. Super cerebral, smart, high IQ. Literally everybody says that about him. Every time they talk about him at a presser. He studies film. He's a film junkie. Spends his days off, times during his days off, evenings just studying film. He loves it. So I think the future's bright for Bossa. Don't have a ton of expectations for him this year, but hey, if weeks in somebody gets hurt and he rotates in and the coaches think he can handle a certain workload even over Jack Cochran, that'll be the biggest battle. People are going to want to say, oh, I want Bossa in, but Spags or whoever trusts Jack Cochran to run out there instead, even though I'm not sure Jack Cochran is the athlete that Bossa is. He just knows the playbook better and could play a bit more freely. And he could wear the green dot if he had to. Yeah, thoughts on Esa Pole? 0 sacks, 0 pressures. Yeah, once you started getting into the third and fourth quarter, it was hard. I watched the game. I watched coach's film. I watched the game twice, but it's really hard. I think he did a good job. I don't know that he is going to make the roster, make the 53. But man, if you could get him on the practice squad, I would love it. I think you've got your 5 locked down right now. Josh Simmons, Kingsley, Creed, Trey Smith, Jawan Taylor. Jalen Moore is 6. Hunter Norzad and Mike Caliendo are 7 and 8. Then from there, I don't know. Ethan Driscoll, maybe? Who do you want as Wanye Morris? I would say Wanye Morris is 9 if I didn't say Wanye. Those are your 9. So the question is, who's 10? Are they rolling with 10? If so, who's 10? Is it Driscoll? He just had his appendix removed. Who is it going to be? It's going to be tough to probably get Pole on the roster, but man, if he could get on the practice squad, it would be freaking awesome. Rachel with the 29 months. Training camp was great today. Not as many people there, so I was able to get signatures. Got a Cam Jones autograph. Can't wait to fall asleep watching football on Friday. Yeah, it's going to be a late game. We're going to start the stream at 8:45 or 8:30 p.m. and stream till midnight, 12:30. Slamming with the 2. Drew. Oh, hey, Rachel, by the way, thanks for some of the training camp footage. We used it in tonight's video. It was awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed and had a great time. Slamming with the 2. Drew in coverage, Bolton run, Leo rush, Bossa does all. He can. And it's just a matter of getting acclimated, earning the coach's trust enough to climb that depth chart and get opportunities when injuries happen. I don't wish injuries on anybody, but it's the NFL, man. Injuries are going to happen no matter what. You just hope that you can keep it minimal. Can you show us how to read the unofficial depth charts? I get confused. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. You just read it from left to right. Left is your starters, quote unquote. And then if they've got like 3 wide receiver positions, think of like 3 wide receiver positions on the field. So you've got wide receiver here, wide receiver here, wide receiver here. Those are your 3 starters. If they're on the left, they're on the field, basically. But even the unofficial depth chart, it's not accurate to me. They have Sky Moore over, I think, Jalen Royals. There's just a couple things on there that it's like, no, that's not exactly right. But they will put sometimes veterans over the new guys, and that's just their pecking order at this point in time. The only one that's like, ooh, wow, is FAU 3rd on his line for defensive ends behind Ashton Gelati. Yee! Frog, what's up, man? Thanks for the 25 months. Biggest surprise cut. All right, let me think about that one. Biggest surprise cut. Okay. Let me think about it. Biggest surprise. I mean, we talked about one that would be a pretty big surprise. It was Brashard Smith. That some people think he's not a lock to make the 53 because there's only $131,000 guaranteed on his rookie deal. He's 4th on the running back depth chart. Didn't even touch the ball until the second half. That would be a big surprise cut to me. I don't think he's gonna, but that would for sure be a surprise. We've already talked about other guys I don't know would be a surprise in Joshua Williams potentially even being a trade candidate. I don't know. Who do you guys think? Rock on, Cole. Yeah, I'm pacing. I'm pacing around. Sometimes I got to pace. If you want me to think, let me pace. Thinking the same. Yeah, if you want to look at surprise cuts, just look at it from a financial perspective and know that they can move on a lot more realistically from a player that they don't owe a lot of money to. If they're tied, like somebody said, could Hollywood Brown be cut? All he is injured. Dude, he's got an $11 million contract. 6 of it's guaranteed. It's like $6.5 million dead money. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. But you could look at some of these other guys like Juju. I don't think he's going anywhere, but I'm just saying he's like $1 million. I don't think his dead money is even that. It might be around $1 million. But he would be a surprise cut. I don't think that happens. But you just kind of have to look at it a little bit from the financial perspective. It doesn't play the whole role, the whole piece of the decision-making pie, but it plays quite a bit. Will Sky be a surprise? No. If Sky Moore makes the roster, I will my pants on stream. Literally soil my joggers. I would be so surprised. Unless an injury hits the room between now and cutdown day, I would be surprised if Sky makes the roster. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be rude. He hasn't caught a pass in the regular season since December of 2023. Guys, he didn't catch a pass last year. I don't know. I don't think he makes it. I don't think he makes it. Cole, tell me how you feel about Matt. I know he had a touchback, but I feel like his yards per kick was insane. Oh, yeah. Matt Ariza, freaking great game. Averaged like 56 yards a punt, had a 67, 68-yard punt as well. He had one land inside the 5 and then one touchback. I want to see more inside the 20, not end up in a touchback, and he had one that was within the 5. That was awesome. So I'll take that all day. I liked what I saw from really special teams in general. They had 2 fumbles forced, 1 recovered. They had a blow-up because of the Matt Ariza punt. Noel Williams, boom! Boom! Woo! Lit that guy up. Okay, sorry, I was a little animated there. I don't know why I had to do that 3 times. That was awesome. And then Harrison Butker had a 58-yarder. Hi, Cole. What's up, Johnny? You're going to the KC game this year from LA. Can't wait. Not sure which one yet, but I'm going. Ooh, let's go. Show me your pick. What pick? What are you talking about? Oh, that's one. I don't have you want my underdog picks for week 1? I don't have that yet. I will. I promise. We'll put it in videos. We'll talk about it on the streams. It'll probably be the week of. You think Butker will bang a 70-year-old this year? He could. In 2020, this was at a practice on his own. He kicked the 77-yarder. I think he could do it. Safety room's fine if we don't get hurt. Hicks is a ball hawk. Brian Cook's a solid starter. That's what Neil thinks. Neil said. King Zach with the 3 months. Thank you, man. We scored on the first play in the red zone. Good sign. And what's up, Cole? It was technically the 3rd. The second one didn't count. The first was a run from Pacheco, but they started at the 13. Pacheco 8-yard run, but that second pass to Tyquan Thornton, PI, brings them up to the 1. They scored on their first play on the goal line, though. First red zone trip, if that's what you mean. Maybe not the first play, but first red zone trip, yeah. Every time they get into the red zone, you score a touchdown, we are going to be happy all day long. I think multiple injuries would have to hit before Sky would make it. Andy about to give Cole mud. No, dude, Sky's not making it, man. There's no way. Unless Hollywood got put on IR or something crazy, and then Rice is getting suspended, right? And then one other guy gets hurt. I don't think he makes it. I think he's in the wide receiver 7 conversation with Jason Brownlee. And the only way I could see Sky having value over Brownlee in the coaching staff's eyes is if Sky Moore is way more dependable than he was last year or the year before on punt returns. Because those depth piece guys, man, they have to contribute on special teams. I think Brownlee could. He could be a gunner. They're working Tyquan Thornton as a gunner. But when you're all these depth piece guys, man, RB4, and that's a way Brashard Smith would not, I don't think he's going to be cut. But if Brashard Smith is your returner and he has some standout punt returns or kick returns because of his speed and his electricity, that's how Brashard Smith or any of these depth piece guys, man, can kind of help make a stronger case for them to make the 53-man roster, including Nico. But Nico just needs to do a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball. Dave Tobe said today he wants to see, he needs to do a lot more on offense. That's what he said. He didn't just say more. He said a lot more. I don't know if that's what he's been told. We know Nico can be the returner. But if you had to choose Nico just from an offensive perspective over Thornton or Juju, he doesn't have that value. In comparison, he knows the offense enough, he can be the next man up and kind of work in. But if Brashard Smith or Thornton or somebody else could contribute at a little bit higher of a level to where Nico's not head and shoulders above all those guys as the team's returner. That's where it would for sure put some pressure on Nico. I don't even think that's who you were asking me about, but that's where my mind went. What's your thoughts on Jon Gruden winning his case and wants to expose the NFL and Goodell? I honestly can't even weigh in on it because I haven't read it and looked into it enough. I know he got fired from the Raiders because of the emails getting leaked, and I do not condone anything he said. It was actually freaking insane. Some of the stuff he said in there, like, good God, brother. What the? I do think he's spent years away. His rise has been interesting to watch. I don't know if he'll ever be able to coach again, but that legal process is still playing out. But I don't know enough of it to be able to weigh in with any real conviction. I need to study it, and we'll probably talk about it on a Cole Breaks a Huddle video soon-ish. So I will be more confident to speak on it here probably soon. Not today, though. Nico's a solid return specialist? For sure. And I'm sure that has weight. It definitely has weight. It's just a matter of if like Brashard Smith or something kind of wows them. And they're like, okay, wow. He's pretty good back there and dependable. Maybe not as good as Nico, but we need the space in the wide receiver room. I'm just going over like a bunch of hypotheticals here. I still have Nico making the 53 because you're right. Very dependable return specialist. The longest punt return of any team in the playoffs last year. The longest kick return of any team in the playoffs last year, and a 50-yard kick return last week. No, he doesn't have that true breakaway speed. Somebody said if that was somebody else, they would have housed it, but Nico didn't. Well, you have to have good vision, instincts, patience to allow blocks to open up. There's a bunch that goes into returns other than just top speed. So he might not have the top speed, but he's got everything else. Who's more likely to make the roster, Brashard Smith or Elijah Mitchell? I think right now, probably Brashard Smith, if they see the vision of his upside and the fact that he's the only guy under contract right now after this year in the running back room, other than Steele, if you want to count him. Elijah Mitchell did get carries, though, before Brashard Smith, and that's why I'm just like, man, we really need to see the next couple of preseason games play out. We really need to see that and see how they're looking. Because Carson Steele, I feel like, earned his roster spot last year during the preseason. Wouldn't you guys agree? Sure, Carson Steele struggled early, had some fumble issues, but CEH got placed on the NFI, and then Pacheco broke his ankle. And you sign Kareem Hunt, but he's on the practice squad, you're getting him acclimated, and meanwhile you're like, hey, undrafted rookie, get in here and be the workhorse for us. You were putting a lot on Carson Steele, but he earned that spot in preseason. So that's why we need these other two games to see who can really make some plays and kind of lock in that spot. I think Elijah Mitchell and Carson Steele are fighting in there, but if you want to say, hey, Brashard Smith is in that mix too, he's not guaranteed a spot either, then okay. I'm not going to lose sleep tonight, if that's your thought. Do you have a pick for this upcoming preseason game then? I do not, Les One, but do you follow me on socials? I'll pick some and throw them up for sure. And we'll talk about them pregame. I'll make some picks for fun. Here's the thing. I'm not putting a lot of money down at all on a preseason game. It's freaking insane. I don't know who's going to play how many snaps. I have no idea. If I put any money down, it's going to be $5. It's going to be $5. Hunt fumbled on his first NFL carry. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think. There's been other players that have done some crazy stuff too. So you have to give them time and don't overthink it. Don't overthink one preseason game. Give them more reps. What's your concerns with safety if you have concerns? Not good depth, skill of the starters, just different and new. Yeah, if your overall thought of the safety room is, well, Justin Reed's gone, Jaden Hicks is doing well, but there's just the fear, a little bit of the unknown. I could relate. I could get with that. But I still believe. Cole, who do you think would be a bigger loss from here between Spags and Tobe? I feel like if we lost Spags today, it would be a bigger loss. Yeah, if I had to pick one, I would say Spags for sure. But Dave Toub's been a very quality, at times, high-level special teams coordinator for a long time. Some people get frustrated with him because, they put Sky Moore back there and they never should have done that. There are some times where you're like, what the heck was that? But over his tenure, I don't know if who's a better special teams coach over the last 15, 20 years than Toub. I mean, Toub's in the top conversation. I don't know if he's the top. He's got to be top 3, top 5. So a lot of respect to both of them. I would pick Spags, though. Nico may not have the speed, but Worthy has the speed, and I can't remember a play last year where Worthy broke away for insane yard after the catch. Maybe awesome in chat, or someone in chat. Yeah, with Worthy, I think where you're going to see him do something is Mahomes. He wins a deep ball, and Mahomes hits him, and they connect for a touchdown. They were off on several plays last year. Worthy stepped out of bounds. Mahomes missed him. There was a bunch of stuff there. I do miss Tyreek Hill sometimes, guys, but at the same time, you traded him away, and the Chiefs have made 3 straight Super Bowls, won 2 of them. Mahomes, his first year without Tyreek Hill, won league MVP and Super Bowl MVP. But I do kind of miss... I'm turning my AC down, just so you guys know. I'm on my phone, but I'm turning the AC down. I do kind of miss when you put the ball... Because, like, even Rice, you put the ball in Rice's hands, and he's dangerous. He's got great make you miss, forced tackles missed, yards after the catch, but he's not Tyreek. That true breakaway speed. Think of that shallow crosser in the 13-second game from Mahomes to Tyreek, and he housed it. There's probably, I don't know who's doing that on the roster. I mean, maybe Worthy, but it's not just top speed. It's vision, knowing your angles. Tyreek was special, man. So a lot of people are like, I want Tyreek back. I'm glad he's gone. I mean, yeah, I don't know that you are making the run that you make with Tyreek here because you traded him away and got all these draft picks out of him and saved money. But he was that one guy that's like, man, the ball in his hands, he's gone. It was insane. Brashard Smith could develop into that type. Yeah, and that's why I'm like, man, I'm just a fan, okay? But man, don't let Brashard Smith go yet. That sounds insane. Let's let him develop. Let's see what he can do. He's got athletic traits, speed. It just needs time to develop a little bit. We do have a lot of toys. Can't have them all. True, Eric. I'm looking for the right people to invite over to watch games with me and my kids, so no alcohol or cursing. Well, I can't come. I'm not allowed. I mean, I try not to curse. But during the games, I just can't promise that if they block a field goal on a walk-off game winner, if I black out, I don't know what's going to happen, okay? And I also sometimes in these stressful games just need a tank 7. Just need a tank 7. His vision is also pretty good for someone new to the running back role. Yeah, I just think he needs more time too, but that should only get better. Anything goes down during the wire wins. Yeah. You never know. Noel Williams knocked that returner's soul out of his body like Doctor Strange did to Spider-Man. That was a great, fantastic hit. Simmons is going to be a dog. Heck yeah, man. That was a great takeaway. That was a great takeaway from last game. It was only 10 snaps, but he looked great. You're busy during these games, Cole. You have a new scoreboard. You aren't going anywhere. Yeah, we just run around and be crazy. Thanks to FLDB for manning down the scoreboard, too. I don't know if he's in chat, but always appreciate what he's done, all the work he's put into it. Brand has helped too with the animations and stuff like that. But the scoreboard, oh, he's here. The real FLDB. Whoa, we got the real one? Where's the fake one? Elijah Mitchell or Carson Steele, Cole? If I, gun to the head, make a decision right now, Carson Steele. That's just based on what I've seen through camp and one preseason game. Let's see these other 2 games play out, and it could very well be Elijah Mitchell. It could be Elijah Mitchell and Steele if they decide to have one less tight end or Brashard Smith doesn't make it or something crazy. I think you probably need 4 tight ends. We've talked a lot about Robert Tonyan, but I think he needs to be on the roster at this point, guys. Jared Wiley's still working back from the ACL. You'll have primarily Kelsey, Gray, and Tonyan. You could release Tonyan, sign him to the practice squad. He's a vested vet, wouldn't have to clear waivers. You could go that route. How many more games would the Chiefs win with Minshew as QB1 than the Raiders won with him at QB1? Oh, man. I'm looking something up. Gardner Minshew career stats. I want to see his record as a starter last year. He was 2-7. He for sure wins more than 2 games. He wouldn't go 2-7 with the Chiefs. But I'm not confident it would. Maybe 500. I don't know. That's a huge what if. A lot of speculation involved. Slammin said Kelsey, Gray, Tonyan, and then Wiley on IR. Well, the thing about Wiley is I don't think his knee is bad enough to place him on IR. I thought he would start the season on the PUP list. His knee's not even bad enough to do that. I'm not saying they couldn't. That's still a possibility. But as of right now, I think Wiley makes the roster. Wiley on IR move, post-initial roster, Tonyan on handshake. This is going to happen. That is a possibility, too, where, because if you put him on IR, it's not season ending. He could just miss 4 games and come back. That is absolutely something that could happen. Couldn't rule it out. Minshew already has 1 win by escaping the Raiders' locker room. Facts. He did better as a Colts QB. Minshew 7-6. Well, I said he would do about 5. He would go about 500, and that's like the difference between a dumpster fire organization and like a decently well-ran Colts org at the time. 7-6 with Minshew. That's pretty good. I think he would go 500 for sure. That's like kind of if he had 9 games. It's not you can't go 500, but 5-4, something like that. 6-3 maybe. It's really tough to know. But good coaching and a good system, that does help. But that's when you have the people saying, oh, yeah, see, look, Mahomes, he's not QB1. He's not top 5 all time. He's got Andy Reid. He's got this, that. Dude, get a clue. You clueless, low IQ. I could keep going with the insults, but just get a clue. Andy Reid was 1-4 in the playoffs before Mahomes and has since won like 17 games with Mahomes. Get a clue. Yeah, the Chiefs was a pretty good situation for Mahomes to get drafted to, but he elevated the team bar none. It's not even close. 1-4 in the playoffs in Kansas City before Mahomes. That's what happens when you go from good QB play, above average even. Alex Smith's last year in the league, he was great. Borderline. I still got really upset with the check down sometimes. But that's what happens when you go from that to this. So that's when I'm like, yeah, system matters. Good coaching matters. A well-ran machine matters. But it's not everything. You guys know that. I don't need to keep ranting about it. Yeah, I saw Lucas Niang tore his ACL, Derek. That's super unfortunate. If you guys didn't see, Lucas Niang recently signed with the Commanders and tore his ACL in his first preseason game with the Commanders. Hardman muffed a punt. I did see that as well. He's with the Packers. I don't know if he'll stay on the roster, but they have a bunch of injuries. It might save him. I'm going to pull up the Packers depth chart. We talked about them today on my second channel, Cole Breaks the Huddle. Dude, look at this. This is crazy. Jordan Love just had surgery on his thumb, but he should be back soon. But look at all these Qs. If there's a Q on their name, they're dealing with an injury. Jaden Reed, Christian Watkins, Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Doubs. 4 wide receivers are dealing with an injury in some capacity. McCole Hardman might make the roster. He might. Watch Hardman come back once Sky Moore gets cut. No, dude, you have what you need. I don't think, no disrespect to Hardman, I don't think you need him back. I really don't. If he comes back again, that's insane. You're getting back surgery on Monday? Shoot, heal up. Heal up quick and best of luck, man. You sing Cole Breaks the Huddle, so your wife is now annoyed? That's hilarious. Who's going to be scary this season? Rice, Mahomes, as long as that O-line holds up. I know Rice is going to be suspended, but once he comes back, who else we got? Worthy, McDuffie, Chris Jones. Those are a few. You guys got more? Yeah, don't need Hardman back. I agree. I don't think you need Hardman. Why? Biggest question mark for me this year, said Crimson. Will 15 trust his wide receiver room enough to get the ball loose and its accuracy be what it needs to be? I think a bigger facet of that question, Crimson, is will Mahomes trust his O-line to be able to stand in there and not get antsy? Keep his fundamentals because he's not afraid he's going to get the kicked out of him on any given play. If he can do that, I think you will trust your wide receiver room a little bit more. And there's some evidence to that. Juju Smith-Schuster got signed after Hollywood got hurt, after the Patriots, I think, let him go. Juju didn't have training camp with the Chiefs, guys. I forgot about that. He didn't have training camp with the Chiefs last year. So you've got Juju year 2 in a row since coming back from the Patriots. Worthy year 2. Rice fully healthy. Yes, suspended, but he'll come back. You have Nico another year in the system. Thornton has been here since November. So Tyquan Thornton wasn't signed in March, April. He's been here since November in the meetings. Scout team, all of it. So you have a lot more rapport with your wide receivers this year. And if the O-line is better, I think you absolutely see a lot more trust from Mahomes in your wide receiver room. Absolutely. And Sky Moore, he's not making the roster. I don't think. The red-bearded Zeus is still in effect. What's up, G-Dogs? Hey, we getting fired up because football season is here. Cole's entering his new era, life of a Chiefs fan. Let's go. I wonder if Moore would have benefited from a position change, like to running back or something. Maybe Captain Redbeard. I didn't want to dismiss the 2-bomb. Thank you for that. I read your comment, but I wanted to say thank you. What do you think of Patrick and Kelsey this season? It'll still look great. I think Mahomes, you just got to hold up with the O-line, but he should have a better season this year than the last two. I've kind of been saying, 4,200 yards from Mahomes and 35 touchdowns. If he does more than that, great. But I think if the health holds up, I that's a pretty realistic stat line from me. Any idea when Rice will face suspension? I think we hear it randomly one day soon that Rice is suspended. It just comes as an announcement. He starts week 1 suspended and he's back week 5-ish. That's just my best guess right now. You think the Chiefs O-line will be a concern? Well, Jawan Taylor is supposedly healthy. He had offseason knee cleanup, so his level of play should go up. He's been dealing with a lingering knee issue since the season prior. That got even more aggravated week 5 when he took a hit to the knee. He was dealing with it week to week, wasn't even fully practicing. If they practiced indoors, he couldn't practice because of the turf, would drain his knee before the games. So I think your level of play in Jawan Taylor goes up. You already know what you got in Trey. And if the level of play in Jawan goes up, it's only going to help Trey. You know what you got in Creed. Biggest question mark on the line is Kingsley Suamataia. You're going from Joe Tooney. You're going from Himothy. Okay? To, I don't know what to expect with this guy because he's never played guard before. Now, I like what I saw from Kingsley preseason game 1. 10 snaps, but almost all of them were a win or neutral. One bad loss, for sure. He did trip. Somebody in a comment on Twitter was like, don't make excuses on his bad rep. He did lose it. I said it. I said he lost that rep, but it looked worse than it really was because he tripped over Creed's feet. It was still a loss, but he did trip over his feet. You want me to lie? You want me to watch the film? You want me to watch it from every angle, all 3 angles, broadcast, end zone, and sideline? You want me to watch that and lie? I'm not doing that. That's stupid. You're an idiot. No, thank you. Go home. Go to bed. You're tired. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to tell the truth. That's the biggest question mark, though. Kingsley. Josh Simmons is also a question mark. He's a rookie. but he's been looking great. He's going to be a better left tackle than anybody last year and maybe anybody the year before. You might get some rookie mistakes on that side of the line. And when I say rookie, I'm talking Kingsley as well. He's a rookie or a first-time guard. Yeah, that's the one thing. Allie said Kingsley at guard has been something I'm nervous about, but I trust him. Yeah, he did trip over Creed's foot. I think he was already losing the rep. He stayed on the block helping Creed for too long before helping pick up the blitz. I think he'll learn. He'll shed that a little quicker and set himself up, but he did trip a little bit. Somebody said, what kind of question is that? I don't know what's the question. What Chiefs big man is going to score a touchdown this year? Ooh. We're talking trick play. They normally go in like a jumbo package, bringing an extra lineman, and it's just going to be the next man up. Is that Jalen Moore? I think Wanye did it last year. It might be Jalen Moore. I'd put $100 down on it being Jalen Moore. Unless he, for some reason, wins the right tackle battle, then maybe not. Yo, what's up, Turbo? You and Farzine gonna do an episode? Yeah, I think so. I need to hit him back up. I'll hit him. He wanted to do something this week, but training camp's just insane. I'll hit him back up and see if we could do something here in the future. Maybe next week would be better. But yeah, he hit me up about it. I'm definitely down. Trey Smith is your biggest concern since he got paid? Nah, I'm not concerned. He'll be great. Gateway with the 2, just 24 days away from the Brazil game. 24 Sky Moore days? Oh, buddy. Sky Moore days away. Let's break Perna's heart this year and not leave it down to the wire again. That would be much better. Even if Kingsley sucks, we have some depth to replace him, unlike what happened last year. Well, Eric, you got to be trolling. I know you're freaking trolling. Eric's a troll, so I have to read his comments and, like, insert troll/sarcasm language. He might be serious, but it's Mike Caliendo as the depth piece at guard. It's the same depth. That's why I think you're trolling. You two are the GOAT Chief streamers. Hope it happens. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, he's always putting out content on all the socials. Bam, 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 bam. Update. He's got like 130K followers on Facebook. I'm like, how, bro? When you drop in your next roster projection, I dropped 4.0 on Twitter and got my wide receiver as, Hollywood Brown, Worthy, Juju, Royals, Thornton, and Brownlee. I would assume that means with Rice starting suspended, which makes sense. Brownlee over Nico. Is your justification there that Brashard Smith wins the punt return battle or something? If so, no, that's not crazy. I don't know. That's not how I would do it right now, but that is not out of the realm of possibilities by any means. I'll do my last roster projection sometime before cut down. I don't know when exactly. Sometime before cut down day. I need Jason Brownlee to get a shot. He has the it factor. He's exciting, and if Mahomes wants to throw him more 50-50 balls and stuff like that and key situations in the red zone, goal line, that's great, but they typically don't do that. But Mahomes has also not had a guy that he can trust like that. So I am intrigued about it. Burrow and Mahomes, AFC Championship. Bengals, Chiefs, AFC Championship. I don't think so. I think it's probably Ravens or Bills. But Joe Burrow and that offense is insane. I think their defense is going to be a problem again this year. And that is going to hurt them. But I do have respect for the Bengals. Jamar is the Triple Crown winner. Burrow had a great season last year. You've got arguably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL, if not top 2, top 3, and Chase and T. Higgins. So, yeah, I think that offense is pretty freaking good, man. It's not impossible for the Bengals to make the AFC Championship or anything like that. I would just say the odds in my head right now is more likely to be Bills or Ravens over them. Dark horse in the AFC, probably somebody from the AFC West. I don't want that to happen, but Chargers, Broncos, one of those two teams, that'd be a dark horse, right? I'm trying to think of like who else could actually do it. I don't think the Jets are doing that. Let me look at the Dolphins probably aren't doing it. Other AFC teams, I'm just glancing right now. You got Bills. That's not a dark horse. Patriots? No. Bengals, Browns, Steelers. I don't think Russell Wilson's going to do it, man. Or geez Louise, Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson's in New York. You got Texans, Colts. I don't know about the Colts. Jags, Titans? Can we go dark horse Titans? Can we do that? Can we get on the Cam Ward trade? What do you think? But you say Houston, but they made the playoffs last year. What was the question? Dark horse to make... I thought it was just a dark horse to have like a good season and make a playoff push when they didn't last year at all. The Titans were 3-14. But if you're saying dark horse to make a deep playoff run, okay. Maybe not the Titans. Go home, Cole, you're drunk. I'm just thinking about it. It's probably not going to be the Titans. I'm trying to think of just a wild random dark horse. It's probably going to be somebody from the AFC West. Broncos or Chargers. No, Cole. Nah. No. Okay, never mind. Not the Titans. My bad. I do like Cam Ward. I think it's going to take time. Steelers, maybe. You think Rodgers is going to get it done? I mean, what's a dark horse? The Steelers made the playoffs last year. So I guess I'm trying to think of a team that was like awful last year that could be better, quite a bit better. Which, here's what I'm looking at and why I was trying to go dark horse. Like Patriots. Not the Browns. I don't think so. Titans. Not the Raiders. I don't know. Rick, man, what a question. Colts. Daniel Jones and Richardson. Oh, that's a tough one to me. I'm trying to look at teams where they've got a nice quarterback, and it's like, ooh, could they do it? Ooh, Panthers would be a good one, but they said AFC. I do like the Panthers, though. Panthers in the NFC. Yeah. Panthers in the NFC, I do like that a lot. Bryce Young was kind of cooking in the back half of the season. Yeah, I like the Panthers on the NFC side of things for sure. Trying to think of who else. The Bears, I don't know that they're going to be a dark horse contender. They should be better. That division is just a gauntlet. Good freaking luck, man. 15-2, 14-3, and 11-6. All three made the playoffs. Yeah, good luck. Cowboys, it's not their year. That's for sure. Falcons, ooh, yeah. With the old Penix. Kelsey, I think they will get better too. Wait, who? Pete Carroll and Geno on the Raiders stands out to me as a team moving past last year's hurdles. Yeah, I just think... I do agree that they got better. I think I even saw Nick Wright maybe say they won't finish last in the division. I don't know. It's just a very tough division. The AFC West is crazy. That's a really hard division right now. Raiders defense is one person. Yeah, they do have Genty, right? They've got Genty. You've got Brock Bowers. There's people on there that I like. You've also got... I mean, I like Max a lot, but yeah, that's their one player on defense. I think they've probably got a couple more guys back there that could be dependable. Broncos and Chiefs are just better. And the Chargers, man, we didn't even talk about it, but man, they just lost Rashawn Slater for the season with the patellar tendon injury. Same injury as Josh Simmons last year in college. That was their starting left tackle. Just got paid second or third highest paid tackle in the NFL. He's out for the season. Thankfully, they drafted Joe Alt last year. He'll kick over to the left side, but the Chargers every year look like they're going to be great or better, and then they get just injured. Just injuries all the time. So many injuries. You think Chargers finish last? No, I don't. I still think it's the Raiders. But I don't know that I would put my mortgage down on it. I think it's Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders right now. I just need, kind of like with the Chiefs, if you say, hey, you predict the Chiefs not to win the West, okay, whatever. We need to see that first to believe it. They've won 10 years in a row. I need to see it from the Raiders to believe it. Like Santa Claus. I'm not believing that fat man went down the chimney. I'm not believing it till I see it with my own eyes. You know what I mean? I'm not believing the Raiders are going to be great until I just see it. Yeah, on paper, Pete Carroll, Geno, Bowers, Genty, they've got pieces, but I need to see it. What about the Bills? Oh, what about them? I think they're going to be a good team. You think the Raiders go 0-6 in the division? Oh, gosh. I think they win one game. At least one game. It's one of them against the Kansas City Chiefs because the Chiefs already lock up the 1 seed and rest their starters last week of the regular season. Max said Broncos ain't finishing the second, the Chargers are. Okay, so to clarify, I think the Broncos are second, Chargers are third, but I think it's close. So I wouldn't rule that out. But you got guys saying the Chargers are going to win the division. I don't know. You think so? I don't know. I don't believe that. If I had to put money, I'd put the Broncos potentially over that. And I like Justin Herbert a lot. I just think the Broncos defense is freaking good, man. I don't know what to think about Bo Nix in year 2. I would trust Herbert over Nix. But that's why this division is going to be so good. It's going to be fun. Chargers get overhyped every year. Everyone is pretty high on Bo Nix, it sounds like. Yeah, I mean, how does he do in his second year? Everybody was high on C.J. Stroud after his rookie year, and then it was a struggle. But his O-line sucked. It was a lot of injuries. The interior was decimated. They do not convince me at all, said Ray Ray. Will Joe Alt adjust to left tackle by game 1? I mean, I think so, Luke. He played left tackle, I think, almost exclusively in college, right? He might have some growing pains, but if you're saying, hey, Chiefs play Chargers week 1, he's going to be going through some growing pains, that's for sure. What do you think about the Chiefs will do with Pacheco after this year? No idea. I have no idea. They could bring him back on a 1 year. That's a hard one. I love Taylor. She's my favorite singer, said Pam. Musician of all time, best entertainer ever. Watch the New Heights podcast. I've been begging for Taylor to be on with Travis. Dude, I'm watching it tomorrow. I'm watching it tomorrow, too. I'm tuning in. I'm getting popcorn. Everything. Doing it. You're excited for the season to start? Yeah. Time for bed? Not yet. Well, maybe actually soon. It's almost 10. I'm feeling good. We'll keep going a little bit longer here. Pacheco and Hunt both looked explosive and ready to in those few snaps they took. I agree. Hunt looked really good. And so did Pacheco. It was 1 carry, but Hunt had a few, 2 or 3. No way we're bringing Pacheco back if he wants serious running back money. Well, that wasn't the question. I don't think he's going to, I don't know. Let's just see how he does this year. It's hard to know. You want to see Burrow and Mahomes? That'd be a good one. I don't think the Chiefs even play the Bengals this year. Do you think the Chiefs have what it takes to make it to Super Bowl 60? Yeah. They've made 5 Super Bowls in 6 years, 3 in a row. Of course they have what it takes. They've got championship DNA, mentality, coaching, the QB, defensive tackle, Travis Kelce. You got Rice. Of course, you've got Spags. You've got great coaching staff. Of course they do, but you got to go out there and prove it. It's a new year, new season. Our expectation is for them to make it to the Super Bowl, but it's freaking hard to make it back year in and year out. It's a dynastic run that they've been on. Oh, they're not a dynasty. Yeah, they are. How can you say they're not? I saw a bunch of stuff on Twitter today. Fake dynasty. Are you serious? Go get a job. Get a job, dude. Go help your parents contribute in life. Help with the mortgage. Do something, dude. Good God. Eagles will get the Madden curse and get that hangover. Yeah, I don't wish injuries on anybody. I know that you're not, but I hope Saquon stays healthy. I like Saquon a lot. I think he's a class act. He was one of my favorite guys to watch play the game. Don't really like him when he's up against the Chiefs. But, yeah, we'll see. That division, or conference rather, is a little bit easier overall, but the Commanders aren't getting any worse. You got the Commanders, the Lions, if they stay healthy. Don't know about the Vikings with JJ, but the Bucks, dude. The Buccaneers. The Buccaneers might be... I don't know if I want to say they're going to be in the Super Bowl, but, dude, that offense is insane. Cade Otton, Emeka Egbuka, I believe that's who they drafted. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. We'll see about his ankle. I think he'll be ready. I mean, that's an insane offense. Then their running backs, Bucky Irving, Rashad White. I think one of them are dealing with an injury right now. But that's a team that's like, man, they could be dark horses to make a deep, deep playoff run. You're sorry, what? You don't think so? You don't think it could be the Bucks? I'm just saying. It's a possibility. Anything goes. Anything goes in the playoffs. Will we be able to afford Rashee Rice if he asks for big money at the end of his contract? I think so. You're going to have guys like, if Kelsey's done after this year, that's $20 million. Jawan Taylor you could move on from. And you have to plan. They were the two GMs, I believe, spoke to the Chiefs today, or to the media today. And they think in 3 years, three-year increments. They're thinking 3 years ahead. You can't get away with having a wide receiver one from a production standpoint and paying them like a tight end, Travis Kelce, once he's done. You're not going to get that. So, yeah, you're going to have to invest more money in the wide receiver room. Keep drafting a guy round 1, round 2, round 3 every single year. Keep doing that, yes. I think Rice, he's got a little bit of a case to get a little bit of a discount. Suspension? Out all last year due to injury. If you could extend him sooner rather than later. He's in year 3. I think you're going to have to wait till January to be able to start negotiating with him, but that's a possibility. Baker is slept on? Yeah, Baker's a top 10 quarterback. He might be like 10, 9. Could you see the Chiefs rolling with 5 running backs? So, 4 and a fullback, maybe. They've done it before. I would have to pull up my 53-man roster projection because we have graphics for all that, and we've had on the graphics what amount of running backs or any position they've taken for years. I can't find it quick enough, but they've gone with 5 running backs a couple of times in the past 5 years. Baker's a baller, doesn't quit, doesn't always pay off, but he goes out trying. Oh, for sure. I like Baker a lot, man. I love to see his ascension. I read the article. It was amazing. I love the pictures. It was a smaller alligator than Carson Steele's alligator. Oh, I'm going to read it. Kelsey's GQ article, I'll read it for sure. Will I attended any Chiefs games? The goal is always to attend one. Even before YouTube, I only attended like one. I like to watch from home. I'm a homebody. Don't really care for crowds. But I do, there's just something about the experience of going to Arrowhead, man. You just can't beat it. Can't beat it. Everybody in Texas has a pew-pew. A what? Oh, yeah, everybody's carrying there. A pew-pew. Who will make the team but have the shortest leash, hottest seat? That's a good question. Who will make the team but have the shortest leash? Okay. Jawan Taylor might have a short leash. He'll still be on the roster, but it doesn't mean he would have to continue being the starter. If he's drawing flags, they're flying everywhere like a 4th of July parade. Jalen Moore could be the next guy. I don't think he's on like an extremely short leash, but he's a guy. Kingsley, maybe. I hope you have to give Kingsley like 4 to 6 games, man. You can't bring him out there for 2 games and pull him. You have to go through the growing pains a little bit. He's never played guard before. The secondary is looking thin right now. I don't know. I see him on the rise. Fulton's getting healthy. Jalen Watson's in concussion protocol, yes, but Noel is continuing to learn and grow in the playbook. It's going to take some time, but the safety room took a hit with Deion Bush, but he was going to be, in my projection, a practice squad guy as it was. Why don't the Chiefs get Justin Simmons? Probably because he wants a lot of money, but if one more injury happens in that room, go get him. I'm fine with him now. Go get him, but I don't know. I want to see the safety room a little bit more. Yeah, I want to see 1 or 2 more preseason games before we really go off the rails with decisions being made. Hypothetically, if the Raiders made an offer to trade Brock Bowers straight up for Rashee Rice or Worthy, would you take it? Oh, man. Straight up? Yeah. I don't know if that's a hot take, and some Chiefs fans wouldn't like that, but dude, to go from Gonzalez to a handful of years later, Kelsey, to Brock Bowers? Yeah, he had the greatest rookie season of a tight end in history, but the problem is I like Rice a lot, and I like Worthy, but you're telling me we could keep one of them? And when Kelsey's gone, we get Bowers? And the trade is straight up. No other things attached? Yeah. Doing it. There's a lot of no's in chat. No, we're not doing it. No. I do like the combo of Rice and Worthy. It's a hypothetical. It doesn't matter. It would never happen. So we don't have to entertain that. But I do like Brock Bowers a lot. Yeah, he had the greatest rookie tight end season in history, which is crazy. Now, the Raiders also had nothing else going for them. They were just throwing balls over to Brock Bowers. It's like, we don't know what else to do. Gardner Minshew is like, Brock, he broke his collarbone. Aiden O'Connell, Brock. We got Noah. Yeah, I do like Noah, but dude, Brock Bowers, if he has another season like last year, he's a top 3 tight end in the NFL. Yeah, he's awesome. There's a reason why Brock Bowers was drafted in the first round. Anyway, it's a hypothetical. It's not going to happen. Doesn't matter. I'd rather have the 5th best player on a good team than the best player on a bad team. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Noah's able to stay afloat with everyone when everyone else is sinking. Yeah, I do like Noah. He's a playmaker. If you target him, he's probably going to come down with the football. I can't remember the percentage last year, but a very high percentage of his catches were first downs last year. It was very high. Super reliable, doesn't get targeted a lot, but he makes the most of his opportunities for sure. They had Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers had, I don't remember, he had 700-800 yards probably. I'm going off the top of my head, but I still think, guys, Brock Bowers is good. Come on. Come on. I know he's a Raider, but he's good. Seems stupid on draft day because the Raiders had other needs, but I forgot about it after how Bowers performed. Yeah, exactly. And then they just drafted a tight end in the second. Is it Michael Mayer? Is that who it was? The year prior. Hell yeah, we still live, Cole? What up? Forgot you were streaming tonight. Listen to you while I'm making pizzas. Yeah, I'm off soon-ish, but yeah, we've been talking Chiefs. We've been talking football. I know. Okay, guys. We can move past the Brock Bowers talk, but I do like him a lot. It was a hypothetical question. It's not happening. The Chiefs have Worthy and Rice for years to come. All good. All good. Not worried about it. It was a good talk. Good chat. Tomorrow night is going to make history. New heights. Going to be insane. You should do a Chiefs-Broncos stream with Perna. We talked about doing it last year. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. Taylor Swift and New Heights tomorrow. Yeah, heck yeah. Brock Bowers sounds like a sideline reporter from the 60s. Facts. Yo, 404, Tay 12th album and her on New Heights podcast tomorrow. Thanks so much for the 20 bomb. Yeah. Heck yeah. That's fun, huh? I'm going to tune in. I'm doing it. No shame. I'll be watching. Thoughts on Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter duo? Yeah, him with Brian Thomas Jr. I do like that a lot. Am I going to stream live for the New Heights spot tomorrow? No, I'm just going to watch it. Chiefs Fitted, thanks for hanging out, brother. I'm blind, I'm deaf. I want to be a ref. Hey, the refs were blind on that first preseason game. How are you going to flag a guy for a face mask, Mac Delana, when he stiff-armed you? How is that a face mask? What are we talking about? Huh? My wife says, no way Taylor marries Travis. Oh, dude, I don't know. No idea. Maybe. Maybe not. No idea. Who's your favorite NFL team? Chiefs. Do you upload to Rumble? No. I just upload to YouTube. That's the only place I do my long forms. And then I do like vertical stuff on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Rumble, I've never tried, or Twitch either. What do you think of the Micah Parsons situation? Yeah, I think the last thing I saw on that is just they haven't had any contact. He wants a new deal. Apparently the contract was agreed to in a backroom meeting style, but Micah's agent wasn't involved. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand Jerry Jones. Micah Parsons is that guy. You pay him. You pay him. You get it figured out. What are you doing? Well, guys, I have not had dinner. I need to go eat. I'm so hungry. I haven't had dinner. I went straight from making videos to dropping the short after that to going live. So it's fun to talk Chiefs. We've been live for about an hour and a half now. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back live Friday night for the live stream, the game against the Seahawks, man. So appreciate all the mods holding it down. 404, thanks again for the 20 bomb. Flip, Brand, Gateway, Slamming, Captain Redbeard, Les1, King, Zach, slamming again. Frog, I appreciate every one of y'all. Thanks for the mods holding it down. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?